Okay, breathe. 3, 2, 1. I dare say, my dear Mongols, what is conquering? Today we have a special episode today. It is my spin-off series, which you will know the title of very soon. Today we have, this microphone's not connected to anything, but forsooth, today we have, if you can't read, Jane Austen's Bride and Prejudice. That is why we are wearing the fedora. Now, today I reviewed this book. May I first start out with, I watched the movie. It was very boring. All it is dancing, dancing, dancing. Dancing. Oh, Mr. Darcy likes me dancing. Oh, wait, no, he doesn't dancing. Oh, a conversation in the kitchen with the maid. Oh, how scandal. Dancing. Anyways, there's a lot of dancing. And so I took it upon myself to venture into this book. Now, I believe my experience with this book comes in chapter 24, as I just turned to it. Let me read this. Miss Bingley's letter arrived and put an end to doubt. This is a trash book, trash movie, and that is the end that it is. It sucks. It's terrible. So we just take that off and get it away. Instead, I will trade it for this. This is my reviewer hat. It represents my Gen Z-ness, even though I'm technically an in-betweener, you know, that vast, empty space where you're not quite a millennial, but you're not quite Gen Z, where you don't want to associate with either. Anyways, that's me. And this book, garbage. Let me outline for you what goes on in this book. So, we open up on this beautiful scene of Keira Knightley, or Elizabeth, as they say, which she plays Elizabeth Swann. There's a connection with the Elizabeths, you know? And she's sitting in a field because she's different like that, you know? She's barefoot, she's in touch with nature. She don't want no man. She's a non-man-ahologist. I don't know. Anyways, and then she sees someone approaching from a distance. She's like, who might that be? Who might that be? He seems kind of gentry, sort of gallantly. Sort of like, ooh, maybe I'm not so anti-man. And then she squashes those feelings. And she's like, no. She runs back and she's like, Father, are we expecting anyone? And then he's like, yes, we are expecting Johnny Depp himself. Because as you tell in the movie, Johnny Depp plays Mr. Darcy. And the father is like, yes, ma'am. Yes, madam. Because I call my daughter madam. You will see who is arriving very shortly. He is a great suitor for your sisters. And then enter the handsome, dashing Johnny Depp himself. And he's like, hello, love. I'm here for your and for you. Not you, Elizabeth. Oh no, we had a thing back then. I'm here for your sister. And then it's like, ooh, and then they proceed to have this awkward tea chat, you know. And so Darcy brings up the idea of polytheism, that there are many, many gods, but Elizabeth isn't having it. Because she's a good Mormon. She's a really good Mormon woman and stuff, and she's like, actually, technically, there's only one god, but we all become mini gods. And he's like, no, actually, there's Heracles, Zeus, Jupiter, Shrek, Hermes, God, Allah, you know, the list goes on, and they beat heads against it and stuff. And it's a row, well, a fancy row, because they're very restrained and held back. Instead, he's like, I do say polytheism is real. And she's like, well, I do say Mormonism. Anyways, that happens. Then he stays the night. She doesn't. She protests and will not stay the night in the same house, so she goes to her friend Libby. Libby and her hang out They have basically a girls' sleepover with pillow fights, and I don't know what goes on. I skip that part because I think that's the sanctity of the girls, that they get that all to themselves. Anyways, then, you see the, let's see, if I remember right, there's dancing. Yes, they go to a dance, and then Darcy, Johnny Depp, and Keira Knightley are forced to dance together. And they don't like it at first, but then slowly they kind of mesh together, with Johnny Depp charismatically saying, "Love, can I see your ankles?" And she's like, "Oh, how ghastly," but sure. And she lifts it up a little. She gives a little hint of surprise. Ooh, scandalous, frisky, if you will. Anyways, then we proceed about maybe 20 chapters just will they, won't they, will they, won't they, and then, like, they come to an understanding that, Mr. Darcy realizes that while there are many gods in his belief, that only one god truly matters, and that is the god of love. Aphrodite, of course. And then, but Aphrodite is a pagan god, so then Elizabeth is like, "Oh my gosh, I love him now, but his faith." And then it's a Romeo and Juliet type thing, where they come together, and they try to get married secretly with their monk friend Tabitha, who is a girl, the first ever monk girl to exist. Jane Austen is very good at promoting modern femininity and feminism in her books. Anyways, she blesses their marriage. They go off and interlock toes for the first time, because that's only within the boundaries of marriage. Then her father figures out, and he hires a bounty hunter called Magrath. He is a Norwegian Viking man who's an assassin, and he splits Darcy's skull open. Or wait, so he thinks. Instead, it was a dummy. It was a stunt double, because, yeah, who looked an awful lot like Danny DeVito. In fact, he said, "Hey, what's the matter with you? My head's split open," and then dies. It's a very weird thing in this book. But anyways, as you can tell, let's go here. They ride off into the sunset, living happily ever after. And, you know what? The father finally decides, you know what? It's okay if my Mormon daughter marries a polytheistic ass. And he's good with it. He's there. And, now, this is the last paragraph that sums it up. With the gardeners, they were always on the most intimate terms. Darcy, as well as Elizabeth, really loved them, and they were both ever sensible of the warmest gratitude towards the persons who, by bringing her into Derbyshire, had been the means of uniting them. See, the gardeners are what they helped them escape into the sunset, as you know. And I would just say, if I was to give my review, as I can't see a thing out of this. The sound is probably terrible, so I'll sit here. And I would say that Jane Austen gets a -1,000,000 out of 10. Because The Mandalorian, much better show, much better comics. And now I will roll this D20 to see if I'm going to review another Jane Austen thing. 1 through 10, I do. 11 through 20, I don't. It's a 19. Sorry, friends, unless you comment and get this video to, let's say, 25 likes, I know, such a big number, only then will I review another Jane Austen book. And I just want to leave you with this last one thing. Psych! It is a man reviews a book without doing any reading. I got him! Bye, guys. Peace out.